So, hello everybody. Today I'm joined with Maria. Maria, thank you so much for taking some time today to speak with me. Do you want to do a little quick introduction? Let us know who you are and what it is exactly that you do.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Alexi. Yeah, so it's good to be here. I am Maria and I help busy horse owners manage their stress and anxiety so they can feel calm and present with the horses.
Cool. Very cool niche. I'm sure not many people have heard that before, but it's good. But yeah, me and Maria, we started the start of June, right, working
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
So I mean, yeah, the time's flown by, but it's been really cool to work with you and to watch you grow and to change over these few months. So yeah, I've just got a couple of questions for Maria. She's just going to share her journey and experience with everyone, and then we'll go from there. So I guess do you want to kick us off, Maria, and let us know, like, originally when we first had that call right at the start of June, what was
Yeah.
like the main frustration that you were seeing within your coaching?
I think I was starting to really form a niche after a couple of years of trying different, what I thought was a niche at the time, but maybe wasn't quite enough. And I was on LinkedIn predominantly. So I was just coming to that stage when we first met Alexi of forming my niche of working with horse owners.
Mm.
And I was starting to think I'm in the wrong place here, maybe on LinkedIn. Not necessarily totally wrong, but I was starting to think I maybe need to be somewhere else as well. And I just felt a little bit stuck with it all.
Yeah, yeah, no, and I think that's a very common situation for a lot of coaches to be in as well. So I can understand that. And
Yeah.
so at the time then in general, like what was your feeling around lead generation, booking calls, getting
Yeah.
sales, etc., etc.?
Yeah, I was really relying on organic
Okay.
content, if you like. So I was creating posts on LinkedIn. I was posting regularly, about 3 times a week. I was having good discussions, good followers. So I was getting followers, but not necessarily relevant followers.
Mm,
So even though my analytics look quite good on LinkedIn, I wasn't actually generating any sales calls at all. Now and then I'd have someone reach out. But it just, I wasn't really finding my leads in that way. They'd be a referral or something, really. It wasn't, yeah, I
yeah.
wasn't getting that opportunity to get in front of my ideal client.
Yeah, yeah. And so based on that then for you at the time, like what was your sort of feeling and outlook on it all? Because like you're one of those coaches who's very, very good at what they do, but you just weren't getting that exposure or those people that you wanted. So what was your feeling about it all at
Yeah.
that time?
I think it just started to feel as if, am I doing, you just start doubting yourself. So you think, am
Yeah.
I in the right place? Is this really a need? I think you start questioning absolutely everything because you've not got something else that's working for you. That I had no process in place. I was
Yeah.
relying on something that wasn't really giving me the result. And I just kept doing the same thing, but I wasn't getting the result. So yeah, I ended up feeling frustrated, doubting myself, really just thinking about not doing it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think as I can imagine, it's a difficult place to be in because obviously you put in all that time to learn to
Mhm.
coach and learn all the skill sets to be great at it. And it's a common frustration that point to be in where it's like, okay, what do I do with how do I find these people? And so when we first met, had you tried anything before in terms of trying to generate leads or anything like that? Or
Yeah, I delivered webinars. That was something I was getting quite good at, being able to reach out to people on LinkedIn, offer a free webinar. And
mm,
now and then that would, create a client, but it wasn't, it just, yeah, it wasn't really happening still. I just
yeah,
don't think I was in front of the right people, and my niche was a bit all over the place. It wasn't really clear
yeah,
who I was for. And I
yeah,
was definitely focusing too much on how I'm doing this and talking about how rather than the problems that I solve. So I was just getting a little bit myself in a bit of a mess with it all because you get so much information and then you can't implement it.
yeah, yeah. No, I remember that when we first met and some of the first conversations we had even before the call, you were talking about you're not sure clear you weren't clear on the niche and how exactly to speak to your avatar. And I think what you said there is important as well. Like there is, sorry, so much information out there. It becomes really difficult to go, what am I supposed to be doing here? So I'm sure a lot of people listening to this will resonate with that as well. And so at that time, then, just before you got started, what
Yeah.
was the main thing you were looking to achieve with Evolute?
I was wanting the opportunity to regularly be able to speak to my ideal client, to be able to actually practice being in those discovery calls that we all need to, have as coaches to
Yeah.
to really understand clients' problems more. I was convinced inside that I had something that could help people, but it was just being having the opportunity to get in front of people and then learn from that process as well. So I wanted more momentum. I was getting really frustrated that I just didn't have any consistency or momentum.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that's very common. And I guess that leads me nicely to my next question. So since we started, what's been the main sort of transformation and result you've seen for yourself and in working together?
Yeah, do you know what? It was funny, wasn't it? When we first started working together, I was thinking, will I really be waking up to leads every day? And it was true. I've got people now following me every single day. There's a reason to reach out and have a conversation, and people, do come back and engage as well. So I am creating this pot of followers now, and it just feels relevant to what I'm trying to do. So, yeah, finally, I say I didn't quite believe it. I obviously did, Alexi, because we started working together. But because I've gone through what I had done for so long,
Yeah.
you do start to doubt yourself. So yeah, the main transformation, so far has really been consistent leads every day, the opportunity to practice skills and to be able to, create a client.
No, it's amazing. It's amazing, and it's cool to see your progress as well. Like you say, comparing when we first started, sort of getting some people off LinkedIn, but not being the right people, to
Yeah.
now consistently every day getting those leads is amazing. And so, on average, on a daily basis, how many leads would you say you're getting?
Yeah, well, yeah, I would say I'm getting around 10 every day.
Nice,
Yeah, yeah. And it
nice.
fluctuates sometimes. There's been days where it's been up to 15, sometimes down to 7 or so. But,
Yeah.
on the whole, yeah.
Nice, cool. And I guess the cool thing for you as well is you've been able to now get them in for calls and stuff like that. So you've got that. It's nice. It's nice to see you get that consistency that you were after. And so for you now, obviously going from a place where you didn't have any leads, didn't have any people there who were your target clients, to now knowing every day you're going to turn on your phone and there's going to be new people there. How has that impacted you personally and made you feel about the business in general?
Yeah, it's turned things around for me of how I'm approaching things, and you've been so supportive there as well. So you're really helping me make sure that I'm crafting the right responses and questions to people, and also developing my sales skills as well. So it's just really enabled me to develop. It feels like real personal development that you're giving me.
Yeah.
I am learning a lot about the whole process. So the thing I originally came to you for, which was the leads, I'm getting so much more than that. So
Ah,
it is
cool.
now
No, that's amazing.
focusing, yeah, on the sales.
Yeah, no, amazing. And I appreciate that. And it's genuinely it's been a pleasure to work with you as well because you're just proof in the pudding that you stick to the process, you do it, you believe in it, you make it work, and it comes to fruition. So, like I say, I've really enjoyed working with you for those reasons. You've been easy to work with. You've followed the process. You've worked hard on everything that I've given and directed you to do on. So, for you, what's been your favorite part about working together?
I think it's been I think you're genuinely supportive. So you will check in all the time, check I've got everything and send me anything over. So I've loved having that support actually because it's made me really accountable. I've
Yeah,
wanted to be able to do the things you tell me to do. It's like, right, come on, we're just doing this, we're following the process. So I've enjoyed having that accountability there. Because like we've chatted before and said, it is about implementing these things, isn't it? It's easy not
yeah,
to do things because they feel a bit uncomfortable.
yeah,
Um, it is easy to just let yourself off the hook, but when you work with someone like you're supportive, but you're saying, no, you need to be doing this. So yeah,
yeah.
I've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed being challenged.
Yeah, no, and again, I'd say hats off to you as well because there have been, I know just from our conversations, there have been moments where, like you say, there's been things which have been a bit uncomfortable to you, or parts of the sales calls where you've not felt it's not felt as natural to you, so it's a bit new. So hats off to you as well for just committing to that and getting that done as well. And so for you then, when we first signed up, this is always a question I like to ask because it helps other people watching just to see where you were at the start. Like
Yeah.
when we initially had that call, did you have any sort of hesitations or concerns before going ahead?
I think it would, I've done a couple of programs before, not necessarily targeted on lead generation, but that I suppose I was thinking that's what was going to come from it.
Yeah,
Um, oh yeah, I've just learned so much over the years. My hesitation would be is, am I going to be able to do this? Is it going to work for me? I
mm,
could see that you'd worked with other coaches and it had worked for them, but you do have that doubt, is it going to work for me? So I
yeah,
think that was I mean, I was straight in really, wasn't I? On our
yeah,
sales call, I was like, let's just do it. I mean, I was almost like, I'm either doing this or I'm just putting this down. So I think I
mm,
was at that point where let's give this a one last try.
yeah.
Um, so I was really, I would say I made the decision on the call and was in, but I was at the back of my mind thinking, I hope this works for me.
Yeah, no, it's cool. And I appreciate you sharing that because that's a common thing that people have. So I like people to share that so others can see like, look, that is a natural thought process when you're doing something
Yeah.
new, you're stepping a little bit into the
Mm.
uncomfortable. It's normal to feel that. And so you'd mentioned you'd done some other programs and things like that before. For you, what have been the main differences in what you've done with those things compared to what we're doing
Yeah.
together?
I suppose past programs I've done have been more focused around the coaching aspect,
Got
where
you.
this
Okay.
is more, I need a process. I needed an actual process in place that, offered me consistency, and it was the focus on the leads. I hadn't
Mm,
really appreciated those bits in the past. You get your coaching qualifications and you do other, I say other qualifications or other programs around generating clients, but not, I don't know, not in a consistent way that I found with you, where there were genuine leads coming in.
yeah.
It felt more in some programs I've done, it's felt a little bit more random. Maybe that's because I hadn't found my niche, though. That's what I was saying. I think the importance
Yeah.
of finding the niche first is,
Yeah.
yeah, it is really important. It just wasn't clicking for me for a while that I had to find.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think what all you said there is really relevant. A lot of yeah, there's those coaching specific ones, and then they just leave you with that piece. But then it's like, okay, how do I find people now to coach? And then,
Yeah,
like you say, if a big error I see a lot of people making is going into stuff and not knowing their niche or not working with someone to define it. So, like we said, getting you that clarity on the first call of the niche has just allowed all the other steps to fall into place. So it's
yeah,
cool to see it
yeah.
all come to fruition now. So, last question for you, Maria. Who would you recommend us to and why?
Well, I'd recommend you to any coach that is struggling with leads, or it is sort of has got a niche, or is in that early process of feeling like it could be a niche and wants to develop that further, so you can really be sure on that. So yeah, but definitely if anyone's struggling with just finding their ideal client to talk to, then I'd say to work with you.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much, Maria. I
Yeah.
appreciate you taking some time to do this today. And like I said, genuinely, it's been a pleasure working with you so far, and I'm excited to see where we can go over the next few months as well. So, for anybody watching, if you want to see a little bit about the process that I'm using with Maria, I'll leave a link below the video. But again, Maria, thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome, Alexi. Thank you.